or modifies a verb. It tells you the way in which something happens. It can tell you how, where, or when something occurs. So the best bet is to look for verbs in your sentence and then ask yourself, is there a word here that explains to me how, where, or when that action occurred? So in my first example, I have he spoke clearly. So I'll identify that I have this verb spoke. Then I ask myself, is there a word here that tells me how, where, or when he spoke? Well, yes, I've got clearly. Clearly tells me how he spoke, so that is my adverb. In the next example, he goes to school here. Well, I have the verb goes, so I'll ask myself, is there something that tells me how, where, or when he goes to school? Yes, there is. The adverb here tells me that he goes to school here, which tells me where he goes. And then the last one, she is singing now. I've got the helping verb is and the action verb singing. Is there something that tells me how, where, or when she is singing? Yes, the adverb now tells me she is singing now. Here's a small sample of adverbs. There are many, 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 but here are just a couple. Quickly, patiently, thoroughly, angrily, thickly, well, now, here. Notice that the majority of these adverbs that I provided for you, quickly, patiently, thoroughly, angrily, thickly, well, describe how something is being done rather than where or when it is occurring. Notice also that many of them end in ly. The majority of adverbs will end in ly. When you see a word that ends in ly in a sentence, chances are good that it is an adverb. However, not all adverbs end in ly. Notice well now here, obviously don't end in ly. So if you are simply looking for words that end in ly as your adverbs, you're going to miss some. So make sure that you are asking yourself those questions. How, where, or when did it occur? So that you don't miss any of those adverbs. We're on to our practice section. This time what I need you to do is to underline the adverbs in the following sentences and draw an arrow to the verb that they modify. Here's our example. The mother told the toddler to come here, but he didn't listen well. I'm going to look for my verbs first. I see that I have the verb told, I have the verb to come, and I have the verb did listen. So now what I need to do is I need to see if there are any words that are going to modify, telling me how, where, or when those things occur. So I have the verb told, and I'm going to see, is there something that tells me how, where, or when that occurred? Nope, no there isn't. I don't know how the mother told, or where the mother told, or when the mother told the toddler to come here. Moving on to my next verb, to come. How, where, or when should the toddler come? The toddler should come here. That tells me where the toddler should come. So here I'm going to underline. That is an adverb modifying the verb to come. Moving on, but he did not listen well. So I've got the helping verb did and the action verb listen. Is there something that tells me how, where, or when he listened? Yes, there is. I see that he did not listen well. So this verb actually has two adverbs associated with it. We can't just underline well, because if that were the case, then it would seem that the toddler listened well. The sentence reads that he did not listen well. So not is another adverb. Not and well both modify listen to show that this toddler is not a very good listener. Okay, so at this point, pause the video and complete 2, 3, 4, and 5 on your own. Then once you have finished, come back to check your work. All right, let's take a look at number 2. Number 2 reads, some students came to school excitedly, others sadly, and others nervously. I'm going to look for any verbs in this sentence, and in this case, I only have one verb, and it's came. So now I'm going to ask myself, how, where, or when did the students come? Well, I see that some students are coming excitedly, others sadly, others nervously. So I've got 3 of those ly adverbs that are describing how the students came. So all 3 of these are modifying the same verb. So my arrow for each of those 3 is going to return back to came. Moving on to number 3. I want to go home now. I'm going to look for any verbs. I've got want and I've got to go. How, where, or when do I want? There was nothing there telling me. How, where, or when do I go? Now. So now is going to modify the verb to go. He searched everywhere but couldn't find it. I'm going to look for my verbs. I've got the verb searched and I've got the verb find. How, where, or when did he search? He searched everywhere. So that adverb is telling me where that verb occurred. How, where, or when did he find it? Well, he could not find it. So not is an adverb modifying how that object was found. It wasn't. And number 5, they bought a house nearby. I'm going to look for my verb. It's bought. How, where, or when did they buy something? They bought it nearby. So the adverb nearby shows where that purchase occurred. All right, your next move will be to move on to the next video in Schoology.